Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I will be talking about one of the most common objections from Muslims when it comes to Jesus, whether Jesus is God or not. Muslims will argue how come Jesus ate or slept or went to washroom. God doesn't need to do those things. Only humans do those things. In Christianity or mainstream Christianity, at least, Jesus is both 100% human and 100% God. How could God eat or die? God in heaven doesn't sleep or eat or need to do anything, and certainly cannot die. But when God came into his creation and lived among us, God became a human. Can God become a human? Yes, nobody can say otherwise. Because God is great. Let me show you the verse in Quran from Surah Maryam, chapter 19, verse 20 to 21. She said, "How shall I have a son, seeing that no man has touched me, and I am not unchaste?" He said, "So it will be, the Lord saith, that is easy for me, and we wish to appoint him as a sign unto men and a mercy from us. It is a matter decreed." So in these verses, two verses, God said, Allah said, it is easy for him to give Mary a boy, even though she was a virgin. He can do anything. God can do anything. There's nothing impossible for God, right? So, in Quran, even angels have to take human form to send a message from God. Surah 19, verse 17. And she took in seclusion from them a screen. Then we sent to her our angel, and he represented himself to her as a well-proportioned man. The angel or angels took human form when they were on earth sending messages. Just for a while, not too long. Only for a very brief or short period of time. That is why they do not need to sleep or eat. But in that human form, they can eat if they want or sleep. Because before we go any further, I want to mention that in Islam, there's another group of creatures or creations called jinn. According to Islam, jinn is made of fire or smokeless fire. Surah 55 verse 15. And he created the jinn from a smokeless flame of fire. And if you go to Islamic websites, many of them talk about exorcism. Many of them are done after people complain they are being raped by jinn. How is it possible for a jinn to rape a female or person while they're sleeping? How come you cannot see a jinn, but jinn can rape you? How a spirit can rape a human? Can a creature made of different substance rape you? If Muslims believe that thing can happen, why can't they believe God became a man and walked among us and eat? I will read you Genesis 18. The Lord appeared to Abraham. Okay, this is Genesis 18 verse 1 to 8. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the large tree of Mamre. Abraham was sitting at the entrance to his tent. It was the hottest time of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby, so he quickly left the entrance to his tent to greet them. He bowed so low to the ground. He said, "My Lord, if you are pleased with me, don't pass me by. Let me get you some water. Then all of you can wash your feet and rest under this tree. Let me get you something to eat to give you strength. Then you can go on your way." I want to do this for you now that you have come to me. All right, they answered. Do as you say. So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. Quick, he said, get about 36 pounds of the finest flour, prepare it and bake some bread. Then he ran over to the herd. He picked out a choice, tender calf. He gave it to the servant who hurried to prepare it. Then he brought some butter and milk and the calf that had been prepared. He served them to the 3 men. While they ate, he stood near them under the tree. I will stop there and read the comparison story from Quran. Not detailed, but similar. It is a very questionable story, but nevertheless, I have to show this comparison story in order for us to learn their book or books. Surah 11, verse 69 to 70. There came our messengers to Abraham with glad tidings. They said, peace. He answered, peace, and hastened to entertain them with a roasted calf. But when he saw their hands went not towards the meal, he felt some mistrust of them, and conceived a fear of them. They said, fear not, we have sent against the people of Lut. Lut is Lot. So there you go. After you read a version like this from Quran, you will come up with questions like, just because the messengers don't eat it, Abraham felt mistrust? That's very strange. Second question is, if they were not going to eat the calf, why did they let him roast it? It took hours in the old days to prepare, well, even now, still hours. In the old days, they had to prepare the fire and the calf and roast it, and how many hours, I don't know. And during that time of preparation, not once one of the visitors or the visitors told him they were not going to eat. That's very rude. Why not? I mean, like, if they were not going to eat, hey, Abraham, wait, we are here to send you this message. That's it. So Abraham didn't have to roast the calf. I believe they ate the calf, but someone twisted the story in order to push out the idea that God became a human. These 3 messengers, let's say, in Quran, I believe these 3 messengers, they believe to be angels. But still, those messengers, they ate because they're in human form. They can eat. Jesus in heaven does not have physical needs. The physical needs came when he was in human flesh, because he was on earth for 33 years, about 33 years. The flesh he was in had the same needs as our flesh. Could feel pain, sadness, hunger, thirst, and yes, can die or could die. In order to sacrifice himself, he has to be able to die. To enable that, he had to be born from Mary in flesh. Of course, he was born also to teach as well, to make people understand who God really is. In order to show what God really is and to sacrifice himself, he had to be in human form and stayed on earth for 33 years. The food he ate, the drink he drank, the sleep and everything else sustained the body or the vessel he was in. Like I mentioned earlier, most Christians believe that Jesus is 100% man and 100% God. Just because God took the human form, the form of human for 33 years, that did not make him less God. God will always be God. The divinity will not change. God took the form of human because he wanted to live among us, among the humans. By coming down from heaven, sacrificed himself, he showed us love. And he showed us that he had loved us first. Thank you for listening. For those who believe there is nothing impossible for God, and for those who believe there are things impossible for God, God bless you all. Have a nice life.